And once again tonight, we're glad to welcome Oregon Senior Senator Ron Wyden to our newscast. Senator, welcome.
Thanks for having me again.
Let's get right to it. We don't have very much time tonight. Just a couple of hours ago, we've had another mass shooting, this time in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at a medical center. We're going to start by talking about gun violence, what will be done about it.
Lee, the most important thing is to say enough. And it seems to me our kids have a right to a childhood, and our kids have a right to know that their folks are going to be able to come home and see them at night. And I think we're clearly going to have some common sense approaches to common sense ideas for gun safety. I mean, there is no question that we can improve the background check process. Oregon has taken some steps in the right direction. You can't put a fence around Oregon. We need to improve storage. We need to improve mental health. Senator Mike Crapo and I, he's the Republican senator from Idaho, just laid out an outline for better mental health services using modest amounts of funds. I think those approaches can bring Democrats and Republicans together.
There's been some talk, and while you're on recess, that there's been some discussion with Republicans and Democrats together. Have you heard?
I've been in several hours of those discussions just here recently. And look, there are people who say, you know, they can't go along with any approaches with respect to guns. I think there's some approaches that show you can have gun safety without harming the Second Amendment. Then there are people who say it's all mental health. I believe deeply that we have to improve mental health services. That's what Senator Crapo and I are doing on a Democratic and Republican kind of basis. You combine gun safety, mental health, you're on your way.
Okay. Next question, very quickly. Inflation. We're paying more for groceries, durable goods, especially gasoline. I know the way the world is right now, there's can't be an easy fix, but what can be done?
Cutting costs is really the key. At today's town meeting that I just had, I talked about prescription drugs. Lift the restrictions so that Medicare can negotiate to hold down the cost of medicine. I wrote the law that allows us to have electronic signatures that can cut costs for construction and people who are buying property. With respect to energy and gas, on the Finance Committee, I'm looking at using the tax laws to discourage this kind of price gouging we've got. So whether it's energy, housing, health care, it's all about cutting costs.
Okay. Next issue. Our local primary election had some problems because of blurry ballots in Clackamas County. The Democratic race for 5th Congressional District was affected. A lot of people are very upset about that. Voters, particularly here in Bend and Redmond, who are now part of this new congressional district, 5th District. By having these blurry ballots, doesn't that just play into the hands of those who were always against mail-in voting to begin with? Doesn't that give them more fodder?
We've got to get this fixed. I mean, the fact of the matter is, for years and years, whether it was Bev Clarno, Dennis Richardson, myself, Phil Keisling, Republicans, Democrats, we said vote by mail works. It's the way you cast an informed ballot. You have your ballot at home, you go through your choices, and it's always been bipartisan. So they've got to fix what happened in Clackamas County in a hurry.
Apparently they're doing better this week, and they'll have the votes counted by the end of this week. If you're the Secretary of State, the state of Oregon, what do you do?
You get together with the clerks and you say, let's dig deeply into exactly what happened. We can't let this happen again. Oregon has put too much effort into showing the country how to do this in a bipartisan way. I was the first senator elected by mail. Not too many people remember that Gordon Smith, a Republican, was the second senator elected by mail. We can do this in a bipartisan way.
Okay. Fourth issue, Ukraine. I'm getting conflicting reports. Every night on my news feed I see Russia is getting beaten. The Ukrainian army is doing a great job of beating them back. Then I see other reports about Russia's coming in the east. They've taken over most of the east now, a lot of the cities. I'm hearing about Russian atrocities throughout the campaign. Now we're talking about Sweden and Finland have applied to become NATO states. How does that all play in? Just your thoughts in general on what's going on.
This is going very poorly for Putin. You know, he thought he was just going to walk in there, everybody'd wave Russian flags. You saw what Europe just did with respect to the oil sanctions. The Europeans basically sent a very powerful shot here that they want to make Putin poorer. They want to cut his oil revenues. So I think clearly when you have someone, an autocrat like Putin, KGB, you have to worry about all of the possibilities. Shoot, you know, he has his people out talking about nuclear weapons and the like. But I think we've just got to keep our eye focused on what we're trying to do, which is help Zelensky and the Ukrainian.
Okay, thank you very much. We're out of time already.
Let's do it again.
Thank you, Senator.